We have 5 lectures, all together, and today's lecture is the third one. Okay, third one, and this evening I want to talk about four types of Buddhism that Shinran Shonin discusses. Shinran Shonin, in discussing 4 types of Buddhism, he explained the 2 types of bodhicitta. So this schema of 4 types of Buddhism taught by Shinran Shonin has direct relevance to what we have been studying. The main title, main title of our lecture series is Shinran's view of the 2 types of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means usually translated as aspiration for becoming a Buddha. So the bodhicitta means a starting point, starting point in Buddhism. And although Shinran Shonin talks about many Buddhist issues, I believe the most important issue Shinran discusses is this issue we are having in our series. And he talks about the importance of understanding 2 types of bodhicitta, or 2 types of starting point. That if we have a wrong starting point at the outset of our study of Buddhism, all the following issues, such as practice and attainment, are also wrong. Everything, if the starting point is wrong, everything that follows is in vain. And no matter how many practices we may perform, or how many years we may perform those practices, Shinran tells us if starting point is wrong, everything is in vain. And on the contrary, if we have the right starting point at the outset of a study of Buddhism, all the following issues, such as practice and attainment, are all right. And actually, Shinran Shonin says if we have the right starting point, the bodhicitta or shinjin, that shinjin, starting itself, contains elements of practice and attainment. You don't have to worry about practice or attainment at all. It's a strong motivation, initial motivation called shinjin would take care of everything. Shinjin is necessarily accompanied by the practice and attainment. So Shinran Shonin said, if you have received this shinjin or have this shinjin awakened in your mind, that's almost like fulfillment of all the important issues in Buddhism. To that extent, Shinran emphasized the importance of the Azapawa bodhicitta or shinjin. Many of us think there is only one type of starting point, or the bodhicitta. Many of us think that we have already awakened the right bodhicitta. But Shinran Shonin's teachings are a tremendous challenge to us. Shinran himself experienced the 2 types of bodhicitta, and he tells us we have to move from the first type of bodhicitta to the second type of bodhicitta, from the self-power bodhicitta to the other power bodhicitta. So in that sense, Shinran's teaching is a tremendous challenge to the Buddhism we have or we've been enjoying. Okay. Shinran's view of the 2 types of bodhicitta in his 4 types of Buddhism. Japanese word is called Niso Shiju. Niso Shiju is a very difficult Japanese word to be translated into English. So I simply translated 4 types of Buddhism. Shinran Shonin classifies all the Buddhist schools into four categories. Four categories. And he called the first three types of Buddhism. First three, Shinran called this Buddhism, provisional Buddhism. And this is a true Buddhism. True Buddhism means Shinshu. This is the provisional Buddhism. And in a sense, Shinran Shonin says it is a kind of important preparatory stage. He doesn't say, this is the only important stage, we don't need this. Shinran never say that. It's like a grammar school, junior high school, maybe this is college. We could say college education is the highest education, but without this primary education, then in no way you can get there. So in that way, Shinran calls this preparatory stage or provisional stage. When we talk about these stages, people have the impression Shinran is kind of saying these stages are not necessary. No. That he never said. He even called this stage a necessary gate. Okay? Very important. But no ultimate liberation, spiritual liberation can be realized here because this is based on the human wisdom, dualistic thinking. It is only encountering the Buddha's wisdom. Only Buddha's wisdom liberates us. We say Amida liberates us, but no, it's not accurate. No person liberates or saves us in Buddhism. Amida is a symbol for wisdom. Wisdom liberates us. To show the importance of wisdom, fictional character called Amida. Amida is a fictional character in the story. Okay, so it's a symbol. Then what does it symbolize? What does it symbolize? It symbolizes wisdom, limitless light. That's Amitabha. Amitabha, limitless light. What is Amitabha? Limitless light, limitless wisdom. Buddha's wisdom liberates us. No personal savior in Buddhism, okay? It's a very important basic point, and many people confuse Buddhism or Pure Buddhism with Christianity or something like that. This tradition is like Christianity because Buddha, Amida Buddha here is a kind of savior, kind of personal savior. But here, our teachers, historical teachers embody Amida Buddhahood. Amida Buddhahood is nothing but wisdom. Our teachers are communicating Amida Buddha wisdom to us. Okay, as I said, Shinran classifies all the traditional Buddhist schools into four categories. Okay? And departing lengthwise, and this means one gradually attains Buddhahood through the self-power practices. Okay? So departing means gradually. Lengthwise means self-power. So this is the tradition in which practitioner attains Buddhahood gradually. That means departing and using self-power. Okay? The self-power means this power. Okay? This power. This is self-power. Okay? This is self-power. Using our thinking, our dualistic thinking, our common sense of thinking. This is the way I know what is good and evil, what is pure and impure. I know what is happiness, and I know what is delusion. I know what is enlightenment. We have these dualistic values, and we study Buddhism and practice Buddhism on the basis of common sense. It's inevitable because human wisdom, dualistic wisdom is the only thing we have initially. We cannot have any insight in Buddha's wisdom. How can we have this kind of Buddhism from the beginning? So that's why Shinran said this is a preparatory stage, provisional stage. Everybody has to go through. But what Shinran wants us is we have to go through this process fully so that we can go to the second bodhicitta. That's what Shinran teaches. Okay. Anyway, next one is called the transcending lengthwise. Transcending means immediately. So the second type of immediate, actually this immediately and attains Buddhahood. This lengthwise means self-power. And third one is departing crosswise. This is Jodoshu. Okay? This is Jodoshu. And departing means gradually. This is gradually chanting and prepare oneself for both in pure, okay, gradually. And crosswise means other power, okay, other power. So this is self power, this is self power, okay, basically. And this other power, okay, other power, this. So with the help of this power, Amita's power, other power, this is crosswise, okay. Lengthwise means self power, okay. And the fourth one, this is Jodo Shinshin, Jodo Shinshin. This is crosswise. And immediately, here and now, this is immediately, this is a crosswise transcendence. This is the four types of insects. Okay, this one insect, and this one insect, this one insect, this one insect. Okay, this is the bamboo tree, kind of transparent. Okay, and this is bamboo tree, and four insects. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so these four insects represent four types of Buddhism. Okay. So let me read, okay, this first passage here. This passage has lots of technical terms, so it's very difficult to understand. So simple picture like this could help us. Okay? This is a traditional way Shinran's schema of four types of Buddhism has been explained. Okay? I think the scholar in Edo period, like 300 years ago, one scholar, Shin scholar, came up with this example to explain the four types of Buddhism Shinran teaches. Rather complicated, okay? So many technical terms. So he wanted to show us this with a very simple picture. Okay? So anyway, let me read this, okay, passage. Okay, Shinran says, okay, these are all words of Shinran. Further, the bodhicitta is of two kinds of orientation, lengthwise and crosswise. So this is the exact place where Shinran talks about two types of bodhicitta in detail. Okay, and he talks about two types of bodhicitta in terms of the four types of Buddhism. Okay, and he says lengthwise is father of two kinds, lengthwise of two kinds, father of two kinds. Okay. Transcending lengthwise, and departing lengthwise. And so Shinran discussed these, combinedly here. These are explained in various teachings, accommodated and real, exoteric and esoteric, Mahayana and Hinayana. So by saying this, Shinran said that all of the traditional Buddhism can be discussed within the context of these two types of Buddhism. That's what that Mahayana and the Hinayana. They could be discussed in terms of these two categories. Okay, that's what Shinran said. They are the mind. Okay? They are the mind with which one attains enlightenment after going around for many cultures. That is this, gradual. But actually, he doesn't mention this, but the Mahayana tradition like Zen and Shingon talks about immediately attaining Buddhahood here and now. Okay? Here, this will require many lives. Okay? So that's why it's called departing. Okay? But this person says Zen Buddhism, Shingon Buddhism, they attain this instant Buddhahood here and now. Okay? So that this is a transcendence. So lengthwise transcendence, lengthwise departure. These two could encompass all of the Hinayana Mahayana teachings. Okay? And the diamond-like mind of self-power. Okay? Diamond-like mind of self-power. the great mind of the bodhisattva. Okay, Mahayana talks about the bodhisattva path. This is the bodhisattva path. Okay, now he talks about this crosswise, these two crosswise. But maybe I'll explain a little bit more. Okay, this this is the tradition. This insect tries to get out of this bamboo tree. Actually, by the way, this bamboo tree symbolizes samsara. Okay, this is a world of suffering. Okay, suffering, and of course, so getting out means becoming a Buddha. Getting out of the endless cycle of suffering, endless cycle of birth and death. Okay? So this bamboo tree symbolizes samsara. So there are four ways of transcending samsara. Okay? First one is this tradition is Hinayana Buddhism. Okay? So the practitioner practice and one life ends here. And it requires many lives to attain this sage status of the sage of Buddhahood. Okay? Hossoshu. Hosso is another school here. Okay? Gradually departing, requires many lives. That means departing. But this tradition is immediately, so with self-power immediately. This is like a Zen or a Shingon. Shingon says Tendai too. Okay, Tendai. They are Kegon too, But anyway, that's the tradition. Okay? This does not require a long time. So in this life, you can attain Buddhahood. As they say, here and now, we can become Buddha. Zen and Shingon teaches us. Okay? But self-power practice. These are self-power practice. Okay? Now, he talks two types of crosswise. Crosswise is also of two kinds, transcending crosswise and departing crosswise. They receive Nembutsu. They hear the Nembutsu. But hearing Nembutsu is not good enough. They change this Nembutsu into the practice they have to perform. So they meet with other power Nembutsu, but they transform the other power Nembutsu into self-power practice. So that's why they think, oh, we should chant Namandals. Our chanting has merit. So we can attain birth and beyond through our practice of chanting the name. So these people kind of privatize something public. They make a self-power practice out of members, which is other power. But here, in the third stage, these people don't think so. Members is something to be heard. They hearing alone. They never create any self-power practice here. These people are kind of passive and hearing along. And our teachers are saying Namandal. You see the difference? Only these historical teachers who embody other power bodhicitta can awaken the same bodhicitta here. Okay? So we just listen to their words. No practice at all here. None of the practice here. Okay? Just hearing the name. So that's what. So here you receive just this is the practice. Nembutsu practice to get out of it. But here, just Buddha's wisdom is coming. Just Buddha's wisdom is coming. You just hear it, receive it. So this insect does not go anywhere. Okay, this stays here, and because of this non-dualistic wisdom, if you receive it, this wisdom turns negative into positive. See? Turns minus values into plus values. Turns blind passions into merits. They turn to niru samsara. Here, samsara, this samsara, people hate samsara, want to get out of it. That's why they need practice. They want to get out of it. They need going out, practice, going out, practice. Okay, these three here, because of human wisdom, they hate minus. They hate minus, blind person. So they want to eliminate here. They want to realize this purity. But here, the Buddha's wisdom turns minus into pluses. So samsara is turned into nirvana here. Okay. All the things you consider meaningless become meaningful. So this person does not have to go anywhere. This wisdom transforms this so seemingly unpleasant reality into something wonderful. Because of this wisdom, non-dualistic wisdom, wisdom of the Buddha, transform things we hate into something we must appreciate. Then you don't have to go, move out of this. So as we can be liberated, as we are here now, you understand? Buddha's wisdom has tremendous power. And last section is all who seek the Pure Land, both monk and lay, must grasp the profound significance of the precious words concerning imperfect realization of Shinjin, and must become free of the wrong thinking of imperfect realization. So this last paragraph is very important. Then how can we have this Shinjin awaken in the third stage, in the fourth type of Buddhism? This is the place, only place where Shinran gives instruction how Shinjin could be realized. Very important. Here, this section is saying the only thing necessary to have Shinjin awakened in us, only way Shinjin can be awakened in us is through hearing. Ideas like Sapa and other power are very much ambiguous. Okay, and but in Buddhism, Buddhism is a teaching about wisdom. Okay? Wisdom is everything. So we are, but initially we are in the realm of human wisdom, because that's the only wisdom we have. School teachers, our parents, the people in general in this society, they taught us this wisdom, dualistic wisdom. That's what we've been studying in academic institutions. Nobody or very few people have taught us the Buddha's wisdom. Okay, so the Buddhism is a spiritual transition from attachment to the human wisdom, dualistic wisdom, to the realization of Buddha's wisdom, non-dualistic wisdom in our lives. Okay, that's what Buddhism is all about. Okay, all the Buddhist terminology, particularly Jodo Shinshu terminology like Amida Buddha, Pure Land, Nembutsu, Shinjin. These are key concepts. Okay, Amida, Pure Land, Nembutsu, Shinjin. Shinran Shonin says all these four concepts refer to the Buddha's wisdom here. Everything. Okay. So we are yet to recognize the importance of this Buddha's wisdom. Okay. The human wisdom and the Buddha's wisdom are totally different. Human wisdom makes us go upward in this picture. Buddha's wisdom comes to us as a challenge because it goes down like this. Okay. 180-degree difference here, opposite direction. Wisdom, we are blindly trusting this, and no matter how much time we may spend in studying Buddhism or practicing Buddhism, so long as our basis, spiritual basis, human wisdom, we cannot get anywhere, anywhere. Okay? No true Buddhism at all, unless we have this experience in the emphasizes, encountering with the teachers of true Dharma. Okay? But we must meet with the people, our teachers, listen to the words of Buddha's wisdom. That's the only way it can Shinjin can be awake. Dualistic thinking means that we divide things into two: plus values such as good, right, and pure, beauty, and happy, and minus values such as evil, wrong, impure, ugly, and unhappy. On the basis of this thinking, we establish dualistic Buddhist values. Okay? Here, okay, here, such as the deluded, the enlightened, the impure land, and the pure land, and samsara and nirvana. Okay? When we start to study Buddhism, we must have these dualistic values. Otherwise, we cannot go anywhere. Okay? And these are all impure land, this is pure land, this is samsara, this is nirvana. See? And this is realistic thinking, okay? This is the first stage we have to get in, okay? Inevitable, okay? So first stage, Shinran Shonin talks about these two stages or three types of Buddhism. All of them are here, okay? In this orientation, okay? And so that's, but here, this is a Buddha's wisdom coming from opposite direction, okay? Then what is Buddha's wisdom? Non-dualistic wisdom means insight into the truth of oneness. Oneness. Okay? This is described as the truth of neither arising nor perishing. Arising symbolizes the plus value. Okay? Perishing symbolizes minus value. Okay, so this neither arising nor perishing means neither plus nor minus. This is wisdom of oneness. This wisdom makes us appreciate both pluses and minuses equally. Okay? That's the truth, wisdom of oneness. Okay? This wisdom of neither arising nor perishing does not divide things into plus values and minus values. Okay? So the opposite direction. Okay? This wisdom means that transforms minus into plus. Unlike dualistic thinking, this wisdom enables us to find the meaning not only in the plus values, but also in minus values. This wisdom alone, it's very important. Okay? This wisdom alone can complete and fulfill human lives. Here, see this. That's what I was talking about earlier. Okay? It's Amida Buddhahood, Buddha's wisdom alone. Okay? Here, this Amida here is a personal savior. This Amida here is a personal savior. They're like Christianity. Jodoshu people talk about Amida as if he is a personal savior. Okay? So that's why Jodoshu teaching and the Christianity sound quite alike. Okay? But Jodo Shinshu is different. Okay? Jodo Shinshu or Shinra would never talk about Amida as a person or as a savior. Okay? Amida, as I said, Shinra said, Amida says, Amida means light. Okay? Shinra says, Amida means light. Light means wisdom. Okay? It's clear. Wisdom liberates, no personal savior. Okay? This is so important, but this is the point many people misunderstand. They confuse Jodo Shinshu Amida and Jodoshu Amida. Okay? Jodoshu Amida is a personal savior. But here, the words of wisdom, Amida means Namu Amida Butsu. Apart from Namu Amida Butsu, words, phrase, there's no Amida Buddhahood. Okay? Shinra said, this phrase, Namu Amida Butsu, 6 characters. These characters live, this one sentence is everything of Amida Buddhahood. Now, differences between the two types of bodhicitta concerning practice, okay? The way we could be liberated. So these 3 types of Buddhism and practice the way how we could be liberated. The tremendous difference. Okay? Practice is absolutely necessary here. Okay? Traditional practices. On the basis of dualistic thinking, we feel that our present life is unsatisfactory because we have a blind passion. We envision the opposite reality, pure reality, ideal goal in the future, such as Buddhahood, the Pure Land, hate in Pure Land. I long for the Pure Land. I hate delusion. I long for the Buddhahood, enlightenment. This is how we start to study Buddhism. Okay? I'm sure you are doing seeking plus values, hating minus values. And we, and you, see? Because originally you have nothing else but the human wisdom, dualistic wisdom. Okay, then in order to realize ideal goals in the future, we engage in various self-power practices. We attempt to better ourselves by eliminating blind passions. That's what Shinran did for 20 years. Honen did the same. More than 20, 30 years, Shonen's case 30 years. They tried to eliminate blind passions and they wanted to better themselves, purify themselves, and realize this wonderful ideal goal called enlightenment or Buddhahood, sainthood, something like sainthood. But they all failed in this. They impossible. I tried so hard, it's impossible. And they felt they are total failures from the traditional Buddhism. Disorientation. So the disorientation is the commonly accepted way. You know many Buddhist practitioners, all kinds of Shingon practitioners, Nichiren practitioners, Zen practitioners, even Nembutsu practitioners, and they try to eliminate blind passions, and they try to attain some kind of pure state of being or pure realm. This Buddhism is called the Buddhism. By severing blind passions, one attains nirvana. By eliminating, severing blind passions, one attains nirvana. They hate this bamboo tree, samsara. They want to go to outside, that's for nirvana. This is samsara, and they long for nirvana. These samsara and the blind passions are almost synonymous. So they hate blind passions. They want to eliminate them. They get out of them. So that by severing samsara, severing blind passions, they want to go out and obtain something outside of it. See? But here, this Buddha's wisdom alone, the wisdom that transforms minus into plus. Blind passions are turned blind passions, negative things, they turn into virtues. The Buddha's wisdom turns blind passion into virtues. That's what Shinran said. Then why do we have to eliminate blind passion? So this Buddhism is called without severing, without eliminating blind passions, one attains Buddha. Okay? Totally opposite. This is by severing passion. This is without severing, one attains nirvana or Buddhahood. They totally different. So in these three types of Buddhism, people are seeking for new experience, something they never experienced. Birth in the Pure Land, enlightenment, it's like a dream. Oh, I want that. Like something you envision in the future, something you never attained it, something you never experienced it. But here, this Shinjin person, this person does not have to have new place to go, new attainment even. See? Because everyday life mixed with all kinds of negative values, everyday life itself turns into ideal, wonderful thing. See? You don't have to pursue somewhere outside your life. You must project your wishful ideas into the future. See? Present reality itself that you already have becomes something you appreciate. You don't have to create new reality. You don't have to pursue a new reality that you haven't experienced. The life, ordinary life you have become extraordinary. See? So you don't have to add anything new to what you already have. But the way you perspective change, see? Buddha's wisdom transforms what you already have into something positive on the one time. With dualistic human wisdom, we can appreciate only plus values we have. We cannot appreciate minus values. We could appreciate life, youth, health, but you cannot appreciate aging, sickness, and death. With human wisdom, only half you can appreciate, only half of your life you hate the other half of your life. But with Buddha's wisdom, oneness, we can appreciate not only plus values, but also negative values. That's how our lives could be fulfilled and completed. That's why Shinran says, this other power, bodhicitta alone could fulfill our human lives. That's what Shinran teaches us. Okay, now let me talk about this so-called practice or the way of liberation within the context of Ryodo Shinshu. Buddha knows that our self-power practices to liberate ourselves are futile and in vain. Thus, Buddha came up with a means to liberate us. He gave us the name, or Namo Amida Butsu, a calling voice saying, come to the Buddha's non-dualistic wisdom. With the name as a means, he wanted to make us awaken the other bodhicitta, or Shinjin. Since the name is already given to us by the Buddha, the only thing necessary for us is to hear the name, the words of wisdom from our historical teachers. The name awakens Shinjin, the Buddha's wisdom in us. Shinran says, okay, Amida is Buddha's wisdom. Nembutsu is Buddha's wisdom. And Nembutsu, Buddha's wisdom, awakens Shinjin in us. And Shinran says, Shinjin is Buddha's wisdom too. Shinran calls this liberation without severing blind passions. One attains nirvana. That I explained here. Okay, this wisdom alone, hearing the wisdom, receiving the wisdom alone, awaken this Shinjin. And this is everything. At the outset of my talk this evening, I said, okay, 100% focus of Shinran is on the realization of Shinjin. If Shinjin is realized, Shinran says, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about practice, how to attain enlightenment. Buddha, you don't have to worry about it. So Shinran tells us, the only thing you should be concerned is whether you have Shinjin or not. Everything centers on that one issue, whether you have Shinjin or not. That's the only crucial issue in Buddhism. That's what Shinran teaches us, okay? Shinran Shonin doesn't say anything else. Nembutsu alone, Nembutsu and Shinjin are the same thing. Okay? Nembutsu is a calling, challenging voice of wisdom from our teachers. Okay? Wisdom, Buddha's wisdom challenges, that's Nembutsu. We hear it and having the same wisdom awakened in us, that's called Shinjin. that resolves everything. Everything. Shinda does not talk about anything more important than that. That's everything. Shinjin alone is everything. Shinjin and hearing are the same thing for Shinda. Okay? Shinda always emphasizes hearing is Shinjin. Shinjin is hearing. Okay? So it is hearing the Namman Dabutsu. It is in hearing. The hearing is understanding. Understanding the name, understanding the Buddha's wisdom means that you awaken the same wisdom in it. That's Shinji. The hearing and awakening Shinji, same thing. Okay, that's why hearing is so important. This sutra says, okay, what is imperfect realization of the Shinjin? And Shinran quotes two types of imperfect realization of Shinjin. Okay, and so this section says, okay, if a person has only hearing, not self-reflection, his Shinjin is imperfect. So this is imperfect to realize. Hearing alone, and you don't examine the self. So the true Shinjin means, okay, that the person must have both hearing and self-reflection. Yeah, I think you understand it. Okay, so that we say hearing alone is important, but hearing means that you hear the words of the teacher, and you must understand yourself. You must understand the mistake you are making through hearing the name. Some people just mechanically listen, just to get information or knowledge, and they don't examine themselves through the words you hear. That's not the Shinjin. Okay? Shinjin is awakening. Awakening is a recognition of the mistake you have been making. Okay? So self-reflection means recognize the mistake you have. You must hear the words, and words are like a mirror. Okay? So you must see yourself reflected in the mirror. Okay? If you don't just hear the words and, oh, Buddha says a wonderful word, just memorizing these words, that's hearing, but not the whole purpose of it. That's why Shinda wants to emphasize. See? You must hear. True hearing means, see, you reflect upon yourself. You understand the mistake you've been made. So understanding the greatness of Buddha's wisdom means that you recognize the mistake of your having been attached to dualistic human wisdom. You recognize the mistake. That's self-reflection. Okay? So hearing is not just knowing about it. Okay? That's why that's true Shinjin is true hearing that involves self-reflection. Okay? And second, imperfect realization. Okay? As Sutra says, if a person believes in the existence of enlightenment, not in the existence of a historical teacher who embodies enlightenment, his Shinjin is imperfect. He must believe in both the existence of enlightenment and that of historical teacher who embodies enlightenment. So here you understand, just the hearing and knowing about the teaching is not good enough. Okay? So the true Shinjin means that you know about the teaching or enlightenment. Okay? At the same time, you meet a historical person who embodies enlightenment. Okay? So if you have just knowledge, information, okay, scholarship about enlightenment is not good enough. You must actually meet with a historical person who actually lives enlightenment, embodies enlightenment. See, this is so important because Shinran learned so much about enlightenment, all kinds of doctrines of Mount Hiei. He mastered all the knowledge here, but he didn't feel himself liberated at all. Why was he not liberated when he perfectly understood doctrines. He learned so much about enlightenment. He knew about enlightenment, but he couldn't get enlightened. Why? Because he did not actually meet a historical person who embodied enlightenment. See? So he had to wait until he was 29. He met this person, okay, this actual historical person who embodied Nembutsu, Buddha's wisdom, who embodied enlightenment. So he understood what enlightenment means in the actual context, historical context. See, this is so important, Shinjin. See? Knowing about Shinjin, knowing about enlightenment, knowing about empowerment is one thing. That's knowledge. Shinran he mastered all these ideas, understood them all, not here. But he was so frustrated until he met one historical person by the name of Honen. Shinran felt, now I know what Nembutsu means. I now know what the birth in the Pure Land means. And now I know what enlightenment means, what Buddha's wisdom means. Because he met the actual living person. Okay? So Shinran talks about this. Two important things, okay? That form the true Shinjin. Okay? Hearing and self-reflection, knowing about enlightenment, and meeting a historical person who embodies, okay? That's what that's a perfect realization of Shinjin. This is wrong way of hearing. Okay, talks about three types of wrong way of hearing. Okay, so the three types of imperfect realization of hearing. So if you study these three wrong ways, we understand the three right ways. Okay, three right ways. Okay, first, a person can hear only one half of the entire teaching of the Buddha. He cannot hear the other half. You understand that? It's imperfect, okay? A teacher is teaching, but you just listen to the half of it. It's imperfect, okay? Now, second, a person can hear the entire teaching of the Buddha. Okay? Now he can understand the entire teaching. That's good, but he cannot recite and expand it for other people. See? So this implies that in our study of Buddhism, we have to always bear in mind that we are studying Buddhism with all humanity. It's not only for your individual happiness you're studying. So the true hearing means you must hear understand and understand the teaching, but to such a degree such a deep degree that you can share it with other people. Otherwise, your hearing is imperfect. Even if you know the entirety of the teaching, if you cannot share it with other people, okay? Your understanding is not thorough. Your hearing is not thorough. Okay? That's the second. Okay. Third, okay, now the person can hear the entire teaching of the Buddha and can even recite and explain the teaching to other people. So it looks perfect, okay? Well, perfect to say, but this is still imperfect realization of hearing but he does so because he perfectly hears the entire teaching and he can even explain to other people. But motivation, you want to feel superior to other people. You want to do it for your gain. Okay? You want to gain wealth by teaching, or you want to become famous for knowing the Buddhist knowledge. See? So anyway, Shinran cautions. Okay? So Shinran wants us to have the right hearing, or right Shinjin. Okay? So these two sections are the only places where Shinran by quoting these two sections, Shinran wants to teach us what is the right hearing, right Shinjin. Okay, so the very important section. Okay, now next issue is the differences between two types of bodhicitta concerning the goal or attainment. Okay, self-power bodhicitta goal is provisional Buddhahood and provisional land. Shinran talks about it. These people end up in provisional Buddha land or attain the provisional Buddhahood. This true pure land, okay, true pure land and true Buddhahood, okay, Amida Buddhahood. Okay? So that if we are attached to dualistic thinking, we cannot appreciate both plus values and minus values. We keep seeking only plus values, seeking something we don't have, always chasing a goal in the future. We experience an endless cycle of birth and death of a dream. We cannot settle in the present. So this is the frustration Shinran and Honen experienced on Mount He. They pursued the Buddhahood. They thought they could eliminate blind passion and realize wonderful Buddhahood, but it was like mirage. You chased after it and reached there, then disappear. Then they have to have another dream in the future and chase that. This is kind of endless cycle, chasing after the plus dreams, and vanishes and come up with another dream. It's called samsara. And the practices here are designed to attain the goal, a new condition that we have never experienced. So chasing after kind of enlightenment dream, like pure land mirage. We want to attain something we don't have, plus values. It is a kind of imagined goal. But here, as I said, this goal here is nothing imagined in the future. Reality here now, the self here now, the reality condition in which we are here, that becomes seemingly negative condition turn into positive condition because of, thanks to the Buddha's wisdom that transforms the negative into pluses. So you don't have to seek anything anew. You don't have to chase after a dream that does not exist here now. What is here now becomes the goal in itself. Ordinariness becomes extraordinary. Something you already have turned into something wonderful. You don't have to become even religious person. You don't even have to become a Buddhist. Ordinary person as you are, living ordinary person, ordinary life becomes so extraordinary. Nothing has to be added. Nothing new has to be added. Life as it is, ordinary life as it is, turned into something so wonderful. Only because of receiving Buddha's non-dualistic wisdom. Okay? This is the most important thing and probably most difficult part of it. But this is what Shinran Shonin teaches us. Shinran says that the self-power practices lead us to birth in the small cocoon-like pure land here. This approach, we are looking for this attainment, but this attainment is like a birth in a small cocoon-like pure land that is adorned only with our type of values. Shinran calls the attainment here, or the pure land, the borderland, or realm of pride and insolence. And he also calls it Palace. We end up in Palace because we are the place that is adorned with only with plus values, with our type of values. Okay? Palace because the world is cozy, pleasant, and comfortable, like being in a mother's womb. All the Buddhist values here are our type. But Shinran says, in this land, we are alone, and do not have freedom. We are restrained by the chains of our type of values. Okay? We are so unfree. And some Buddhists are like, I'm a Buddhist. Buddhism is better than Christianity. Okay? I'm proud of my being a Buddhist. That kind of thing. You are creating this chain, restraining with yourself with all the positive values you like. you are creating tiny cocoon of Buddha land. See? It's secluding yourself in such a tiny Buddhist world of your making. That's what. But this person is born in the limitless world, limitless life, limitless life, and limitless life. So now, the other power bodhicitta is called the true Buddhahood and the true land. Shinjin, other power bodhicitta, what the Buddha's wisdom terminates. This is what Shinran talks about, terminates. Attachment to dualistic thinking. Having Shinjin means having the samsara, this samsara terminated. These people have to make efforts, perform practice to get out samsara. But here now, this samsara, bamboo tree, is transcended thanks to the Buddha's wisdom. Turns samsara into nirvana, something meaningless into something meaningful. This wisdom does that. So that's the termination. Only this Buddhism, Shinshu, terminates samsara. Shinran says, only with a diamond like my Shinjin can we, living in the evil world of five defilements, completely abandon samsara forever and reach the pure land of naturalness. Let me read that next one too. When the time comes for Shinjin, indestructible as diamond, to be settled, Amida grasps and protects us with compassionate light, so that we part forever from samsara. See? So the Shinran says, Shinjin alone can liberate us from samsara here and now. So next, I mentioned this, so just let me read, receiving the Buddha's non-dualistic wisdom by hearing alone means discovery of the goal that we already have. Here, you must seek something new here. You are seeking something you don't have, but here, you don't have to do that here. You just discover the preciousness of something you already have. It means having scales of our eyes removed from our eyes. If the scales are removed, we can see the treasure that we already have. We recover our original suchness. Actually, we've been living in this world of oneness or suchness, but because of attachment to dualistic thinking, this is like a scales. And if this scales are removed, then we go back to the original reality, oneness reality, or non-dualistic reality. In a sense, we are regaining our original reality. So if the scales are removed, we can see the treasure that we already have. Thanks to the Buddha's wisdom that transforms the minus into plus, we can appreciate the ordinary as something extraordinary. The reality that we previously thought imperfect and unsatisfactory turns into an ideal. We do not have to seek an ideal in the future. We become content with our present life, with what we already are, or with what we already have. A tremendous difference as far as attainment is concerned. And we are born in the world of limitless light, wisdom, limitless life, compassion, where we have many wonderful teachers and Dharma friends. This is another important point Shinran makes. If you have Shinjin, you're born into the Pure Land. And Shinran, the Pure Land is a place where you have many wonderful teachers and the Dharma friends. You become one member of this group, passionate seekers. So you cannot help but becoming a passionate seeker because you have many wonderful friends. So this is a good contrast with this the attainment in the provisional Buddha. You are born in the womb palace. This is cozy and comfortable because every value is your type, but it's birth in the womb palace. You are alone. You are alone. It is a world of individual happiness. It is a world of self-contentment. No friends, no good teachers to learn from. You are everything they own. You are kind. Okay? That's the difference he talks about. He talks about. Okay? So as soon as we are born into the world of this, we become the student, embodying the spirit of perfect student. We keep seeking the Dharma without being attached to any fixed ideas. Why are we attached to fixed class values alone? Okay? Okay? All values, minus values, could be turned into positive values. Why do we have to be attached to fixed positive values alone? Okay? And the seeking process itself, the goal. Okay? You don't dream a future dream, class dream. You are settled here now. Differences between the two types of bodhicitta. Individually different, or everything is individually different, but everything is the same orientation. Here, individually different bodhicitta, because 100 people here awaken different types of self-bodhicitta. Why? Because these people have attachment to the dualistic thinking. We individually have different types of values. We don't share the same class values. We are all the same in that we are attached to class values, but we examine what is plus and what is minus. People have all different values. See? So what is good to me, that means that's convenient to me. Evil means something inconvenient to me. So people have different values. So if we have this self-bodhicitta, we have all kinds of different practices, different goals. People in the cold climate consider Pure Land is warm, like Hawaii. But the people in the tropical place think Pure Land is cool, like Berkeley or San Diego. So people have all kinds of different practices. It's a practice. 100 people, 100 different practices, 100 different goals. All practices are different. Okay, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, all kinds of grades of superior practices for the superior people, inferior practice, inferior. See, here. See, all practitioners are different type. See, here, individually different teaching. Teachings are all different. See, different teaching for different people, individually different practices, individually different goals, depending on practitioners. Okay? And so Shinran talks about his Buddhahood here and Pure Land. He mentioned this plural. Okay? There are various types of Buddha lands, plural. Different types of Buddhas. Because everybody, 100 people have 100 different ideas of the Buddha. In contrast to that, okay, this orientation is same, okay, same orientation, and Shinjin is same. Honen said, my Shinjin and Shinran Shinjin are same. Okay? If different, we don't go to the same Pure Land. Okay? So Tanisho, Shinran Honen said, only one Shinjin, same Shinjin for everybody. And all people are liberated equally without any discrimination. Grades and levels are irrelevant. And Tanisho, first chapter 1 says, know that the primal vow of Amida makes no distinction between people, young or old, good and evil. Only Shinjin is essential. See? So Amida, or Buddha's wisdom, it does not discriminate anybody. No intellectual requirements or moral requirements. Okay? Male, female, good or evil, or the wise or foolish. Doesn't matter. See, everybody equally can hear, and receive the same teaching. Given here the name. Name is same message. Okay? Because we hear the same message from the Buddha. So we have the same awakening, changing awakening. Okay? And we are taking the same Buddhahood. Okay? Dharmakara is born in us. Dharmakara is the cause. And effect is Amida Buddha. So Amida Buddha born in us becomes Amida Buddha in us. So we all attain same Buddhahood. Okay? Amida Buddhahood. This Shinra called this supreme nirvana, parinirvana, or great nirvana, or perfect Buddhahood. That's what we attain. Okay? Same, everything same here. Okay? That's a good contrast with it. And I have this last section here. I want you to read these two verses very carefully, and you understand why Shinran inserted this word but. Okay? Without this word but, it is a little ambiguous whether these two passages are talking about two different types of bodhicitta. But Shinran, by inserting word but, okay, he makes very clear. First verse is talking about self-power bodhicitta, and the second verse is talking about other power bodhicitta. Okay, this is such a wonderful example in which we can see the Shinran's genius. Okay. Shinran wants to say, if bodhicitta is self-power bodhicitta, we cannot transcend samsara. But if the bodhicitta is other power bodhicitta, we can transcend samsara. Okay. In original verses by Shanta, that point is not clear, but Shinran inserting one word but, okay, it makes clear. Okay. Shinran is saying in the first verse, he said, even if we awaken individually, okay, individually, this is the bodhicitta, you awaken individually. You alone awaken this. Okay? This is the bodhicitta, you yourself alone awakens. That's why you cannot transcend samsara. But this is the bodhicitta. You awaken together with all sentient beings. We awaken this deepest aspiration we share. So this is the self-power bodhicitta is awakened individually, but true other power bodhicitta is awakened together with all things. So that's why it says, individually we awaken self-power bodhicitta. And Shinran put the word but we cannot transcend samsara. That's what he wants to say. Without the but, that meaning is not clear. But individually awakened self-power bodhicitta cannot transcend samsara. To emphasize that impossibility of cutting off samsara by the self-power, he put the word, inserted this word into original text. And second verse says, together we awaken the diamond-like spirit. This is Atapa Bodhicitta. Then transcending crosswise, cut off the four current. Four current is samsara. See? So when we are together with all sentient beings, this is the same bodhicitta, Atapa Bodhicitta, we awaken together. Then we can transcend crosswise, cut off the samsara. See, this such a two verses are clearly contrasted, but without the word but. We don't know if Shanto is negatively talking about first bodhicitta. See? But this is anyway. This is may not be easy to understand for you, but Shinran, throughout all his writings, trying to show the contrast between two types of bodhicitta. meeting a historical teacher refers to a meeting a historical teacher who is dead or alive. Okay, so when I mentioned that, you had the impression that we have to meet a contemporary teacher, but that's not what I mean. Okay, so meeting is a historical teacher like Shakyamuni, Seven Patriarchs, okay, Shinran. Okay, so in reading books we can meet a teacher. Okay, but actually, no, we talk about seven patriarchs. Okay, seven patriarchs actually met their respective patriarchs. Okay, second patriarch met first patriarch, third patriarch met the second patriarch. Okay? But only the fourth and fifth patriarch met personally because they are contemporary. But other five patriarchs never met with their teachers personally. You know that. Honen met his teacher Shantao, and 5 centuries separated. Shantao was a Chinese piano master in the 7th century. Honen was in the 12th and 13th century Japan. So 6 centuries separated them. Okay, so I'm not talking about meeting a contemporary teacher. Okay, and see, I respect a teacher like Manshi Kyozawa, Akegarasu Haya, okay? And like Akegarasu Haya met his teacher Kyozawa personally, okay? But Kyozawa considers Shinran as his personal teacher. Okay? So the Kyozawa and Kyozawa Shinran are separated by 600 years. Okay? So that's what I mean. Okay? But this is not what I'm saying. Okay? This is what Shinran is saying. Shinran talks about the importance of 17th vow. 17th vow talks about the historical teachers who are saying Namandavats, who are saying come to Buddha's wisdom. Okay? And by meeting this teacher, hearing word, okay? So this is the absolute principle, okay, that Shinran Shonin is talking. And Shinran personally testifies to the importance of these three vows. Shinran says, these 3 vows are fulfilled in my life. Okay? I met this. And of course, Honen was not the only teacher important. Honen represents 7 patriarchs. 7 patriarchs here. Shakyamuni is here. But Shinran says, without the guidance of the historical teacher, without meeting them meeting their words, we don't know what kind of person they are. Personal qualities are not so important. Okay? Their words, Naman Davats, we meet, okay? Meeting with words. See? But he has said only knowing about enlightenment. Words are not good enough. You must meet with a historical person who actually lived Amida Buddha's aspiration. Okay? So anyway, that's what Shinran teaches us. Okay, so I want to make it clear. Okay, I'm not saying we have to meet the contemporary people or living teachers. If we can meet the living teachers, that's the most wonderful thing. Okay, Shinran Shonin could meet him, and Shantao could meet the Daocho. But other patriarchs, or maybe in modern days, many teachers they encounter with the teachers in the Kamakura period or in ancient India. That's okay, perfectly okay. See, we meet the words. See, words. See, words are the essence of the teacher. See, we hear the words of Shakyamuni. The meeting with Shakyamuni is perfectly all right. See, that's what Shinran say. Okay. Faith alone is not a good word. Okay. Shinjin alone. Okay. Shinjin is more like understanding. Okay. Faith belongs to Christianity. Okay. Buddhism does not talk about faith. Okay. Often Shinjin is translated as faith, but faith is not a matter of understanding. Okay. It's a believing in something unknown. Okay. That's faith. But in Buddhism, we don't talk about anything mysterious or unknown. Okay. Nembutsu, nothing ambiguous, nothing mysterious about Nembutsu. Okay. We listen to Shakyamuni's words. Is there any mysterious element to Shakyamuni's words? It's so clear. See? Like Amida Shakyamuni says, no, impermanence is the ultimate truth. See? Out one dharma, it means impermanent. Everything arises because the causes condition, nothing staying same. There's nothing permanent. Okay? That's the only thing we have to understand in Buddhism. Amitabha Buddha stands for that, the truth of impermanence. Okay? There's one dharma or impermanent. That's what this Amitabha Buddha symbolizes. Okay, Amitabha. See, so there's no ambiguity. See, whatever I'm sure you thought Shakyamuni's teaching is very clear and understandable. No elements of faith. Okay, but in Christianity, you have to believe in miracles, say resurrections, and believe in existence, soul or God. See, Buddhism has nothing to do with believing something unknown or mysterious. Okay, so see, this is a consistent theme throughout history. It's a wisdom. See? Wisdom is something you understand something clearly. See? Hear and understanding. That's Shinji. That's what the Shakyamuni talked about. Okay? So Shakyamuni said, I have not hidden anything. I haven't hidden anything from you. Everything I told clearly and understandably. So no ambiguity. That's Shinra the same way. Shinra teaching is very clear. No elements of mysticism. See? So when we use the word faith alone, we better use the word hearing and understanding alone. That's what Shinji alone means. Okay. Don't say these processes are not necessary. Okay? This is the preparatory stages. Everybody goes through this. Okay, it's a grammar school, junior high school. Okay, so even say this is a kind of climax in Buddhism, Shinra, no, according to Shinra. But you cannot get to this college education immediately. We owe these preparatory stages to get there. Okay? That's how Shinra talks about it. See? So you talk about all kinds of Zen meditation or keeping precepts. Shinran went through these things, okay, but he came to the conclusion any practices that are based on dualistic thinking cannot get us to the ultimate goal, the completion of human life, fulfillment of human life. See? You cannot get there. That's what Shinran is saying. Okay? So please don't misunderstand. Okay, I'm not saying that this alone is important. Okay? Shinran these are three stages, growing stages, and gradually he got into this maturing stage. Okay? Without these stages, but we overestimate our human wisdom. Okay? We have illusion as if we could attain the ultimate goal of wisdom or the oneness through our efforts, through our striving, through our dualistic thinking. That's the big mistake, according to Shinran. But be careful. Okay? Shinran tells us we cannot transcend dualistic thinking by ourselves. That's the most important point. Okay? If we try to transcend the dualistic thinking, that effort is based upon dualistic thinking. Okay? Dualistic thinking cannot transcend dualistic thinking. Self-power cannot transcend self-power. That's the impossibility. That's what we illusion, and somehow, if I meditate long enough, deep enough, I can transcend dualistic thinking. Shinran say, no way, no way. Okay? Self-power efforts go this way, other power go this way. It is only way we can transcend dualistic way is receiving the power, this power, Buddha's wisdom power. Then only our teacher's words can make this new bodhicitta come out of us. This is the mind that transcends dualism. No way. They even take up all kinds of practice, many years if that. No way. Self-power cannot transcend self-power. Dualistic thinking, practice based upon dualistic thinking cannot awaken this state. This Shinjin is hearing and understanding this power, receiving this power. This power alone can awaken this. This Shinjin is something you never thought of having. We can never pull this out of ourselves. We must trust our teacher's words. They alone can awaken. That's why Jodo Shinshu hearing alone. Please remember, Shinran teaches, hearing alone, Shinjin alone, hearing alone. Nothing else could realize Shinjin. So hearing alone, all the religions of the world, all the Buddhist traditions in the world emphasize the importance of hearing. But all other traditions say hearing is also necessary. Hearing is also necessary. They say there are many important things. Keeping precepts is important, meditation is important, and hearing is important. Okay? So they say hearing is also important. But in Shinran's teaching, hearing alone is important. Nothing else. Nothing else can realize Shinjin. This is Shinran according to that. This is the only way. Hearing alone. This is a motto of Jodo Shinshin. I'm not making this up. Renya Shonin says it. Hearing alone is important. Listen to all the Jodo Shinshin teachers. All of them say Jodo Shinshin, hearing alone. Other traditions say hearing also. Shinshin, hearing alone is important. Okay? That's how we transcend dualism. We cannot transcend dualistic thinking, like our dualistic thinking. Okay?